want to invite on stage for the next portion, which is a keynote speech from the Foundry, Mr. Toby Cruse. Toby is the General Manager of the Rough Diamonds at Diamond Foundry, and he's going to talk about the trends in the lab-grown diamond industry. Mr. Toby Cruse.
I'm here to talk to you about some trends that we've witnessed in the lab-grown industry over the last few years. So let's jump straight in. Controlling the slides. There we go. Okay. So this first slide, I'm sure everybody in the audience is familiar with this slide. It certainly raised some eyebrows when it was certainly produced by Tenorist and Edengo. What it shows us is that lab-grown is certainly the majority. This slide was produced a couple of months ago. It's probably a little bit out of date by now. I suspect that we've crossed that critical nexus and that lab-grown is now greater than 50% of the pieces. But apart from it being enlightening, what does it really mean? What are the points that this slide shows us? And I think there are three important aspects. One, lab is growing. Consumers are informed about it. They're searching it out actively. They're going into stores and they're asking for it, or they're searching out websites that specifically sell it, and they're buying it in large quantities. The second thing, stores are pushing it. It generally carries a better margin. Stores will sell the items which customers want that carry the best margin. And thirdly, I think it's definitely a bona fide engagement category product. It's not just a gifting product anymore. So the ramifications of that are that the FTC disclosure rules may well need to change. Is the lab-grown qualifying needed for the majority product? The second topic, let's talk about consumers. So this data has been taken from our own direct consumer brand, which is called Vray. Vray has 7 stores in the US, 6 in China, 2 in the EU, as well as pop-ups and concessions, virtually 100% online. What I'm saying is this isn't a single snapshot piece of information. What it shows us, if we take a cut of the data from 2018 to present 2023, is that people come into stores or they go online with a budget. That budget is pretty static. It's around $4,700 to $5,000. This is how much people want to spend, and they want to spend all of it. Now, over time, the consumer has benefited from better pricing. Initially, they were buying products with around 1.2, 1.3 carats of diamond content. And today, it's up to 2 carats of diamond content. It's important to note that styles and fashions change all the time in terms of stone shape, ring design, metal weight. But budget and expectation remains constant. We found that whereby we offer SKUs from anywhere from $300 right up to $60,000, this $5,000 pocket is key. If we offer less, people look for more, and if we offer more, then we start to see sales getting smaller. And I think the bottom line that we need to realise is people don't want to get engaged for 99 cents. So let's talk about technology. On the graph you can see the iterations of various reactors that we've developed from generation 4 out to generation 8. Not all technology is equal. That's the message in this slide. So initial capex, productivity levels, gas usage, electricity usage, run times, everything varies and it all builds into the value equation of growth. I can't understate the importance of having in-house research and development so that iterations of reactors can be improved on, so that the capital efficiency, the productivity of the reactors gets better whilst the production costs decreases. We're not all at the same level. I think the other important aspect on this slide to talk about is sustainability. So the gold standard really has to be carbon neutral or carbon negative. And I mean carbon neutral through first-hand use of renewable energy. not through massive use of offsets. As previously mentioned, I congratulate my colleagues Lightbox on reaching this level. We did it ourselves a few years ago, and it's very difficult to achieve. We see a lot of companies in the industry which overuse the term green. You know, having a windmill or a few solar panels on the site and not actually living up to that is damaging to the industry, and it won't help our reputation as we go forwards. Likewise, relatively loose standards that license the terms but don't actually force one to deliver on a promise aren't helpful. The next trend that I want to talk about is the size of the rough blocks which have been produced. I think larger blocks are really coming to their own in the industry. So when we started, we saw small 5-6 carat blocks of diamond. That very much confines the polish that you can create from the stone. So a 6 carat block is going to yield most likely a 2 carat fancy, and we see an abundance of this particular SKU in the market. What I'm trying to say is the rough can't be allowed to dictate the polish that we then have to go and try and sell. So the larger blocks give cutters far more optionality. If your business is programmatic 1 carat rounds or 5 carat fancies or anything in between, it can all be sourced from a standard large format block. The polish demand has to dictate the planning and the cutting strategy, not the size of the rough. Also, bigger blocks yield bigger offcuts and bigger toppies, which increases the overall yield and the efficiency for growing. Talking of larger rough, what you see here is the world's first and largest single crystal diamond wafer. That wafer is 4 inches in diameter, 11 centimeters. The next wafers that will grow will be twice this size, 8 inches, 20 centimeters in diameter. And why they're important? Well, diamond wafers, as Ahmed alluded to, are revolutionizing the tech space. Applications from semiconductors, electric batteries, 5 and 6G base stations, complex computer chips, thermal applications, as well as the quantum applications that we're currently getting into, will completely revolutionize the technology space. The future is most definitely diamond. I think the last and most important trend I want to talk to you about was rough prices. So we've seen that rough prices have dropped to around a fifth of what they were in 4 years. They've dropped to that they've dropped to that level for a number of reasons. We've seen some short-term thinking, economic conditions, financial pressures, a rush of new entrants coming into this space. But what does it mean? Well, we've now reached negative margin territory for sub-scale, sub-tech producers. Think about those guys that went out and bought OEM reactors at Gen 4 level. They're stuck with that. It's the equivalent of owning an iPhone 5 today if you don't have the ability to upgrade your tech. But more importantly, I think we've reached the tech industry entry level for pricing. And what does that mean? Well, the tech industry is generally more bankable than the jewelry industry. So it means that production allocations will shift quite quickly. And when that happens, it could well lead to shortages. Those that don't have a security of supply or their own ability to grow will be left without product. And I think for both of these reasons, we're starting to see closures and bankruptcies, which is probably a good thing as the industry is innovating and it's getting stronger. So I hope those high-level points have helped and they'll fuel